So I want to talk about a topic that I think is pretty interesting, and that's the connection between perfectionism and language learning. All sorts of people learn languages, but I think the people that learn languages online and call themselves the word polyglot, I think we can say that there is some kind of similar personality with a lot of these people. I'm going to include myself in this group. I think there is a really common trait of perfectionism in online polyglot, and I kind of want to talk a little bit about that today. What inspired me to do this video was a few days ago. I had some free time. There was something in the back of my head telling me I shouldn't be wasting time. I should be learning languages. So instead of just relaxing and maybe watching a YouTube video or playing a video game, I very consciously turned on a foreign language YouTube video and I changed the setting of my video game to be in French. And that got me thinking, why did I do that? And I think this has something to do with the perfectionism. So I couldn't stand wasting any time. I'm so obsessed with getting better that I can't even allow myself to relax. And I think there's some good things that come from this, but actually a lot of bad. So I guess in general, polyglots tend to have a similar personality. There's tons of research about some common characteristics about polyglots, what kind of group people tend to be in, what kind of identities they tend to have. And I think workaholic is a really common trait among polyglots. Of course, there's some good that can come of this. For example, it'll motivate you to continue working on honing your skills, on improving, which is a good thing, right? Maybe this kind of hardworking mentality can continue to motivate you even when your excitement dwindles. But I think there's a lot of harm being a perfectionist and learning languages. So for example, it's kind of hard to know your limit. It's difficult to know when it's okay to relax, I think. And on top of that, language learning is an embarrassing process. So of course you have to be prepared for failure and not being perfect. So perfectionism can maybe cause some bad feelings from something that should be fun. I think people who learn languages as a hobby want to do this for fun. They enjoy it. But I think perfectionism can kind of warp that into being something a little negative. There's a big overlap between self-help and language learning, and I really hate that. I really hate those videos about how to motivate yourself, how to be successful in a language, because I don't know, it feels like snake oil to me. So I'm not about to pretend like I have a solution. I just kind of want to open a dialogue about this particular issue about perfectionism and language learning. For me, the way I kind of deal with it is kind of keep some universal truths in my mind and try to always stick to those. And the mind kind of wants to go in one direction, but if you just keep reminding yourself some particular truthful statements, maybe that'll put you on a right path. So for example, hard work is important when learning a language, but you shouldn't beat yourself up over the little things. This is something I try to remind myself a lot because my natural state is to beat myself up, but we need to remember we're humans and language learning is a process. Or maybe I try to remind myself, you're gonna make yourself look like a fool, so just accept it. There's no point in fighting it and trying to be scared and I want to be perfect at this. That's never gonna happen. You're always gonna have an accent, you're always gonna make a mistake, so just have fun with it. Try to improve in little ways, but don't beat yourself up because you're not a native, because that's just never gonna happen. Even if you live in a country for 20 years, your language is not gonna be perfect, so just accept that. The perfectionist mindset will probably make you think, I'm never good enough, I'm not good, I'm not a native, I suck, I need to work harder, I suck. But you need to relax a little because at some point you didn't speak a word of this language, so it's good to, keep that in perspective. So overall, being a perfectionist and being a polyglot can be helpful because it can maybe push you to go a little farther, to make a good decision sometimes, but don't let it control you completely. Language learning, I think, should be fun and we should keep it that way. It shouldn't become like a chore or something to beat yourself up over. I think there is something kind of toxic coming from that always hustling mentality. For example, if you scroll through your Instagram and see all these beautiful notes and all these people who are putting in so many hours into a language, you start to feel a little shit. You maybe don't feel the best when you see all that, so it's good to keep into perspective that those people have their lives and they do what works for them, but You do what works for you, and don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't worry that they did 10 hours of a language in a month. 1 hour is good. Doing anything is better than nothing. So I think maybe it's like a constant struggle of trying to balance, continue to work on your language skills, but also not get into a mental state that can be harmful. But those are my 2 cents. Maybe I'm talking total garbage right now. I would like to know some opinions of the people on the internet. Maybe I'm stupid, maybe I'm right. I just wanted to get this thought somewhere on the internet. So thank you for watching this video. I'll see you for another video very soon. Bye bye.